I'm your host, Kyle Blondin. It's another week of NFL action and betting action here on the Overrated Experience. Here we go. It's a Sunday. I know it's going to be very quick to listen to the pod, get you ready for your NFL picks, but thought we'd put a pod out there anyway. You can look back and see how successful these picks are. So welcome to the Overrated Experience. Overrated Experience is found on X at Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2. And if you're looking for a gambling website that talks from the viewpoint of the average bettor, you found it. And here we go. So this focus is going to be NFL, but this week we do have a guest from the mountains of Ajax. Austin from Ajax is back. Welcome back, Austin.
Hey, how's it going? It's been a while, guys.
It's been a long time. Where have you been? Like, where are you at now?
I've just been sitting in my basement watching baseball. Crazy run by the Jays. Been mostly focused on that the last month or so.
All right, well, you brought it up because you didn't want to talk about it, but fresh off a Game 7 loss to the LA Dodgers, what are your initial feelings? I know it's still fresh, but what are your initial feelings about how that went down?
Even though I'm proud of this team, it feels like we were so close that it was truly in a way choked away. So, there's some pain there. There's some serious pain settling in. So many opportunities to win. So many times we're in the driver's seat, but we just couldn't get it done by a simple pop out,
Is there, this run is very unique compared to as we sit here every year talk about the Leafs folding early in the playoffs, and it's usually you can point fingers of what you would do and what went wrong and who to blame. Is there a who to blame kind of situation here? Is it Jeff Hoffman? Should we have expected that he shut down the 8-9? So he didn't even get beaten by Ohtani. He got Rojas, number 9 batter, took him out of the yard. Like, what do you say to that?
Disgusting. I haven't really had a time to think about it. It's more just all feeling right now. It feels terrible. It's hard to blame everyone. They crushed expectations this year, of course, but it's just upsetting.
And didn't Will Smith look dangerous? Like, he just looked dangerous, and it's not surprising he's the guy that put the ball in the yard in the extra innings.
Yeah, well, I've always said for the last 5-6 years, Will Smith has been the best catcher in baseball. He might only be a 270 hitter, but for a catcher to do that consistently every year, no other catcher's doing that. You know what I mean? 20, 25 home runs, 270, 280 hitter. There's a reason why he's batting cleanup for the best team in baseball. He deserves that spot.
Yeah, and then Dave Roberts. Yeah, go ahead.
I think personally he's even bigger than Big Dumper. I think Big Dumper's amazing, don't get me wrong, but there's a difference between somebody doing it for 1 year and somebody doing it for 5.
Yeah, and kudos to Dave Roberts, who put him up in the lineup, put him number 2 slot, shuffling it up after the Dodgers were kind of coming up empty in the early part of the series. So good on him. But look, just this World Series is a coming out party. It shouldn't be, but it's a coming out party for Yamamoto. He really built a reputation in this series, shutting the Blue Jays down in Game 2. Game 5, was it Game 5? Yeah, Game 5 or 4, whatever the second game. Game 6, shutting them down. And then coming in last night, also shutting them down, losing no velocity. He's got the story of, the visuals of him with his notebook in between innings and or simulating his pitching mechanics in the dugout. So I think, the shine was on one Japanese superstar, Shohei Ohtani, but Yamamoto absolutely became a World Series legend, in my opinion, and is now taking another leap to the upper echelon of Major League pitchers. What are your thoughts on Yamamoto?
Yeah. After watching this series and watching what Yamamoto did in the playoffs, I could honestly say going into the next year, he might be the best pitcher in baseball. Obviously, you got Taras Skubal, but I just don't know how you get better than 6 pitches that you can't predict, 6 quality pitches. This guy seems like he's only getting better as he goes on, too. It's unbelievable.
He definitely stood out, and like you said, 6 pitches. Like, what do you do as a batter? You're gearing up on a 1-2 pitch. Is it a fastball? And he's hitting 100, 101, whatever it is. And then he's got a devastating breaking ball that's going to make you look stupid. But so he's definitely went up a notch for many, and we'll see what happens the rest of his career. For the Blue Jays, just before we get off this topic, where do you see this team going forward? Where do you kind of see on the horizons for the Jays?
I truly believe, like, I'll be shocked if they're not at least a playoff team, of course. But the question is, where are they going to be able to make another playoff run? I'm confident they'll be in the playoffs with the depth that they have. But honestly, it's a big question mark. It's like, can they be better than the Yankees next year? I think they can be better than the Yankees. I think they can be better than the Red Sox. But are they a World Series team? I've quickly looked at the betting line, and obviously they don't think so. But I would say they're best team in the division. I don't know if you agree with me.
Well, I mean, if we look at the sampling size, is that you got to believe that the Jays are. I mean, they kind of ran out of gas a little bit near the end of the season, where the Yankees were. We were going into the last series of the weekend. Win-loss. Did the Yankees lose? Did the Jays win? They won based on better record head-to-head against the Yankees. So there wasn't a huge gap, even though the Yankees have a lot of flaws. And I got to see that most likely the Yankees are going to reload. And they're going to reload and probably shape that team a little differently than they came into this season. So I think the Blue Jays have changed kind of the viewpoint of many teams that I don't need to have guys hitting 40 home runs, 50 home runs, 5-6 guys but strike out 300 times and don't get on base. And I think there'll be some sort of change in the philosophy of the Yankees. Obviously, they're going to keep a Judge, but their defense has got to get better, and you got to believe that Bo Bichette is on the radar for this Yankees team to bring in a guy who makes contact, leads the majors in hits, and is a free agent. And I don't know if the Jays will be able to back up the Brinks truck. And he hit that 3-run home run last night. That didn't help the free agency situation. But do you envision Bo Bichette potentially moving on from the Toronto Blue Jays?
Obviously, I hope not. But yeah, as you said it, I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Yankees, as sad as that is to say. He would instantly become the enemy. But it's just a question of can the Jays pay him? If Bo Bichette comes back onto this team, I think our chances of winning a World Series are way higher than if he doesn't. He, like you said, he may be the best guy for hits in baseball, or at least the American League.
Right. So we'll see what happens, but that's the Jay season's done.
Yeah, it's tough.
Tough. I know I've seen a little tear come from your eye there, but
yeah,
it's over.
Hey, is it Dusty in here?
Is it? Yes, Dusty. Yeah, it's. Now, before we, I didn't tell you about this, but before we move on, you're wearing a toque. What business is that toque?
Oh, that's I'm a concrete finisher. It's the business that I work for, Valiant Concrete Finishing.
Awesome. So that's obviously some heavy lifting there.
Yep.
And what do you guys do? A lot of work in cement, and what kind of things would you do for the business?
Sidewalk, patios, pool decks, trenches, pretty much everything you can name in concrete, other than stamping. Pretty much everything other than that. Yep.
All right, good. Shout out to Valiant. All right, so we're going to move on before we get to the NFL card, Week 9. We're going to talk to the story I touched upon in the previous podcast, but we'd like to get your takes. Week and a half ago, roughly a week ago, Chauncey Billups goes down, gets arrested, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, NBA Hall of Famer. He's alleged to be the face of a illegal poker ring for a lengthy period of time with connections to the Bonanno crime family. And then you have Terry Rozier, current Miami Heat, then Charlotte Hornet, who was investigated by the NBA for kind of fiddling around, screwing around with his performance to have payoffs for folks to bet on his props. Now, the NBA cleared him of his investigation that he did no wrong, or they couldn't prove he did any wrongdoing, but the FBI decided to pull the trigger and arrest him. And get your comments on what you think of the situation, and also what it means to the overall gambling scenario with illegal sports gambling when it's related to sports.
I mean, I think it's insane. Just seeing the plays that Terry Rozier was throwing away are almost comical. It looks like what am I trying to say? Like some Looney Tunes way to lose the ball. It's just some unbelievable plays. Like, whoa! He fumbles the ball in between the other players, like gives it away, and then pretty much like on the next play, it's like the worst check pass I've ever seen. But it's disgusting. It's like it truly does tarnish the sport a little when somebody does that. You know what I mean? It's like how many people lost their bets that night because of that guy?
Man,
don't know.
if you got
Yeah.
prop bets on Terry Rozier, man, and
Yeah.
you're losing a lot,
Yeah.
you're screwed up.
Yeah. One of the big things I heard that he did was he would tell everyone around him, like, hey, bet on my under, bet on my under. And then he'd fake an injury halfway through the game on his totals.
Right.
It's insane. And then, for a player to do it, one thing, but a coach, that's just crazy to me. That's a whole other level.
Well, I need to clarify here because there was talk that Chauncey Billups was caught up in both, right? But really it's focused on the poker. But then somebody was described in the FBI case for the sports rigging that exactly outlined Chauncey Billups. And then you have the other assistant coach, I just lost the name right now, that was talking about, giving folks out there information that LeBron would not play in a game before it was made public. That's bad. I mean, but for those who are bashing legal sports betting, it was the books that flagged this behavior of Terry Rozier and the money going down. So without that public betting, there would have been no idea of this going on. So, people are quick to rush that. Oh no, you can't do public sports betting, but that's probably safer. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA, the talk was, oh, maybe we'll get our partners not to provide player props. I can't see that happening when these books are going toward the same game parlays as their main source of advertisement. Do you ever see that FanDuel, DraftKings, etc., saying no, we won't offer player props?
I don't think they will do that because it means that they're going to lose money. They don't want to lose money. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that unless it gets extreme. Unless two other coaches come out and they're gambling too. I don't think this is going to happen. But another thing I want to mention too, this isn't the first time we've seen this. This isn't the last time we've seen this. Emmanuel Clace, best closer in baseball. He's gone because of gambling. What's the other example? Shohei Ohtani's interpreter. There was controversy around that. It's the things are building up, but I don't think the betting sites are gonna be into that very much. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, if they keep it legal, they're gonna find another way to gamble. So it's better. It is safer this way. I completely agree with you.
Well, the Shohei Ohtani interpreter stuff was through an illegal book, right? It wasn't even a legal book. And I mean, there's theory that the interpreter took one for the team because Shohei was directly involved, and that investigation got wiped away pretty quick. So we don't. Do we know the real issue? Was Ohtani really not involved and had no understanding of what was going on with his money? Hard to believe, but that's the way baseball's seen it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the NFL. I know you talked about being a bit out of touch, but we thought, what the hell? We'll wake you up from your slumber in the garage out there in the middle of the woods in your log cabin to talk NFL. And what we'll do is we'll go through the lines using the FanDuel lines. I encourage everybody to have multiple books to get the best lines, especially player props. We're not going to have any player props here today. I don't have anything on the books. We're going to go with spread and over under for the NFL card Sunday and Monday. And maybe before we kick off, how's your fantasy season going?
I would say it's a healthy mix. I have the teams that are like leading the leagues, and then I have the teams that have completely fallen off. So I'd say I'm 50-50. I would say I'm doing a little better than I am worse. I probably have a couple more categories that I have losses, but it's been a healthy mix. How about yourself?
I got 3 leagues. I am okay in the 416. Decent, I guess, in ballers. And then the other one, I can't remember the name of it, is just getting crushed. I can't overcome injuries, and there's absolutely nothing on the waiver market, especially for running backs. You're really desperate.
You have to target those waivers almost before you have an injury. You got to find that guy to have on your bench to have him ready to go. It can be tough. Tough.
And that's weird part about fantasy football because last week I picked up Tracy for the Giants. And then Scadaboo separated his ankle, and Tracy's going to get more touches, which, yay for me, bad for Scadaboo. But, well, that's doing business, buddy. Too bad.
Yeah.
All right. So we move on to the NFL card, and we got a lot of matchups. Any surprising teams right now that, before we go to the card, any team that has exceeded your expectations this year so far?
I guess I would say the Rams have exceeded my expectations.
Really?
I didn't think necessarily they were going to be this offensive powerhouse, But I mean, looking back at it, it's like why wouldn't have? Why wouldn't they have be? You know, they have Puka Nacua, best receiver in the NFL, debatably.
Yep.
Maybe top three. Let's say he's top three guaranteed. And then you got Devontae Adams. Obviously, you know, he's getting older, but he might be still top 15. And, you know, quality quarterback. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have expected them to be this good. I'm trying to think of other surprises. You know, I'll say, even though I didn't expect anything from the Jets, I didn't expect them to be like the worst team in football with the defense that they have. You know, to me, that's a shock. To me, it's like watching the Jets. It's like, how can you be this bad? You know? But other than those two things, I can't really think of anything on the top of my head.
Well,
how about yourself?
The first game on the card, I'll talk about a surprising team that to many is the New England Patriots hosting the Atlanta Falcons here. The Patriots at home are 4.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 45.5 minus 110. Now, I put this out to you. The Patriots have had a hell of a run so far. They actually lead the AFC East over the Buffalo Bills at this very moment. Mm-hmm. And the Atlanta Falcons have just been up and down of, you know, they walk into a game on Monday night and knock off the Buffalo Bills, look well doing it. Last week, they lose to the Miami Dolphins. I know that Kirk Cousins had to come in and play, no Drake London, but they lost to the Miami Dolphins, who just got pasted by the Baltimore Ravens. So I think this 4.5 is based on a little overhype because of Drake May and the New England Patriots and a lot of deflated hopes for the Atlanta Falcons. So my take here is that with Penix and London being back, I think they cover. I do not look. The Patriots lost. Their two losses have come at home. I know Drake May is improved.
I'm going to say something crazy. You know, I think right now the Patriots are the better team.
Then who? The Bills, or are you talking about the Falcons?
Oh no, not the Bills. Not the Bills. I'm talking about the Falcons. The Bills. Right. The Bills, I believe, could win the Super Bowl this year potentially. Top 5 team in the NFL. But I think they're better than the Falcons. I really do.
Right, but are they 4.5
right now? You made like it's definitely something I should have mentioned when you said any surprises this year because the New England Patriots have turned into one of the most entertaining teams to watch in the NFL.
Yes, they have. There is Stevenson's out. Ramondre Stevenson's out, so Henderson is going to take the bulk of the carries here. So let me just jot this down here. So Atlanta, look at this high technology I have. New England minus 4.5, 45.5. So I like Atlanta to cover. That's what I'm taking Atlanta to cover.
4.5.
Yeah. What are you taking?
Yeah. I can see it's going to be a close game. You know, I do think the Patriots are better, but I don't think they're better than 3 points. So I'll completely agree with you on that one.
Okay, over under. I think we might get a barn burner here. 45.5. I'm going to take the over. What do you think?
I like the over as well. You know, in my head, as soon as you said that we started talking about the total, I think I had 45, the number 45 in my head, but I could easily see this be a 50-point game.
Okay, so again, New England Patriots were both on the Falcons to cover and the game to go over. And then we move on to one of the wider spreads with Bryce Young back for the Carolina Panthers, but nobody cares because they're 13.5-point underdogs heading into Green Bay to take on the Cheeseheads here in Green Bay. Green Bay coming off a big win in Pittsburgh last Sunday night. Tucker Kraft, man, this guy is on fire. Tight end for the Green Bay Packers, big game. They look like they're motoring along. Like even the Packers, though, are up and down. That Jordan Love and that offense look like they're blazing. Like, you know, at the first couple games of the season, that defense was like even last week, whatever. You know, with Micah Parsons, they were just getting Aaron Rodgers. But do they do that week on week? I don't know. And last time we had a giant spread of 13.5 against Cleveland, which was why they couldn't cover an outright loss. So how confident are we that the Packers can cover a spread like that? What do you think? Like, can the Packers blow them out today?
They could definitely blow them out. But, you know, like I'd probably set it at 10.5 opposed to 13.5. So I'm not like drastically off, but it seems like a little too much.
I do too. So what's your take on that then? What side do you go on?
Honestly, you know what? 13.5, there's a chance I go on Carolina side.
Wow, you going Carolina?
Yeah, I don't think Carolina's a good team, but they're bad. But they show up in random games. You know, I my prediction would be they lose by 10. You know, so I guess just for that, I'll stick to I think You don't go with minus 13.5 here.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna take Green Bay here. I do believe like Carolina is like a slap fight. They get in a fight, they're just like waving their
Yeah.
arms, and
Yeah.
they connect sometimes. So
It's a
I'll
good way
take
to
Green
say
Bay. 43.5. Do you see this as a higher scoring game, or is this kind of like a 17-7
Oh,
kind of game?
that total seems low to me. I think it goes over 43. I'm more
Well,
confident. Yeah, I'm more confident in this one than the last total. That seems very low to me.
okay, so I'll take the over as well. That's it for that game. Now we go into an interesting game because it's not really an interesting. I'm trying to hype it up, but it's the Chargers in Tennessee. Chargers on the road or minus 10.5 point favorites over the Titans. Titans are a mess.
Yeah.
They got nothing going on. Cam Ward, first overall pick. Is he going to develop under this franchise? I don't know. But right now we have the Chargers with Justin Herbert, who's one of the elite quarterbacks, but even the Chargers are up and down. They have massive injury issues on their offensive line. And so I like the Chargers here to cover the 10.5. I have no faith in the Titans whatsoever. And I like this game to stay under. I'm going to say under 43.5. What say you?
I could see it being. I could see it going over. It's a hard one to say,
Okay.
but I got to say though, the Tennessee Titans easily one of the worst teams to watch as well in the NFL.
Even their
what
uniforms are ugly, man. Everything's
started
ugly
off-
about them.
Yeah, yeah. The Chargers started off red hot. I think they need this one. They need a dominant game. Reestablish
Yeah, and
themselves.
I think they'll get it. And I'm just thinking about this. Even how bad, let's say the Raiders are, the Cowboys can be. Is there something better? Like you could still watch a Raiders game because like the franchise and the branding and the black and
Yeah.
silver. But the Titans, there's nothing appealing about looking at a Titan.
No.
Nothing
You
at
know, like, yeah, now that Derrick Henry's gone, ever since Derrick Henry left, I really didn't feel like I had much to watch at all on that team.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Not talk too much about that one, but we got a pretty spicy matchup here. The Denver Broncos are in Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans, are favorite by 1.5 here. It's the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Man, like we're talking potential division winners, playoff contender, and Collins is back for the Texans. I know you got a side on this one. So, what are your thoughts here?
You know what? When I first started getting into the NFL, I don't have a team. Everyone knows I don't have a favorite team. But the Broncos were like my favorite team for a year, and the reason was because they were the best the best defense in the league. And I think easily the Denver Broncos are top 3 defense in the league. I think defense win games, and they also have a very entertaining offense. I think they get this done, and I think they win by more than a touchdown today.
Okay, wow.
Houston is not a pushover team.
No.
But they're not elite, and Broncos might not be considered elite, but I think their defense could be considered elite. And for that reason, I think they can control this game.
Well, Surtain is out for Denver, top cornerback.
I didn't know that. 'Cause
Oh man, he's going to be out multiple weeks.
I told you I was out of touch. Oh my God. That's the number one cornerback in football, in my opinion. Him and then Sauce Gardner. But I still think they get it done. But I definitely would have liked that information before I placed the bet. I should probably get more into the loop here, huh?
Yeah, there's something called the internet. Maybe you want to
Yeah.
check out. And the way you reacted to that was like you had a bet with the Bonanno crime family and figured out, oh shit, I might not win this. Let me go into hiding. And that's the reaction we've seen here on camera. So that's why we have the camera on.
I may or may not be hiding out in this garage for a little bit.
Exactly. So it's okay. So I'll take the Denver Broncos as well. I'm assuming you are still going to take the Denver Broncos on this one.
I'm still taking them, but I mean that could be Denver Broncos being down their best players. So I'm a little more nervous now. I got to be honest.
That's like somebody like kicked you in the balls right there. That's how shocked you are in this.
If Nico Collins explodes this game, we know why, right?
Okay, and he's just coming back off concussion, so he is back. And over under is only 40.5. Is that too low?
Yeah, I would say so. That's too low.
Okay, so you like the over.
Yep, 40.5, 100%.
Yep. Okay, so we move on to the Bears on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Bears are 2.5-point favorites. Now just listen to the injury report here. So Swift is out for the Bears, running back.
Yeah.
That's a big loss. He's been very impactful for the Bengals. 51.5 is the total. And then also Joe Flacco has been limited at practice. He apparently has a right shoulder issue. How serious? I don't know. I haven't heard that Jake Browning's going to take over. It appears that Flacco will still be in there. Maybe by the time this podcast is over, it'll be official that maybe he's in or out. But just keep that in mind. So the Bears are 2.5-point favorites on the road. And what are your thoughts here?
Swift is definitely a key guy. I think if I'm not mistaken, Adunze might have been a question mark as well. I am a big fan of the Bears. I don't mind them being the favorite at all. I think this line is exactly where it should be. 2.5, nothing crazy. Bears can obviously choke the games, but they look like they have some life, could vie to be at least an average team in the NFL. So I'm going with the Bears here, honestly.
Going with the Bears. Okay.
Yeah,
so
did you
Bears,
mention the total already? Did I miss that?
51.5. 51.5 minus 110.
Wow. I might go for the under for that. So Bears minus 2.5, but I'm taking the under. What about yourself?
Okay. I'm going to go Cincinnati. And the Cincinnati Bengals are a chaotic football team. Their defense is absolute shit. They get lit up. They got lit up by the Jets. They couldn't. Usually they win that shootout kind of game, and they choked against the Jets. And that defense couldn't stop Justin Fields, right?
Yeah,
I do think.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I do think that the Cincinnati offense will just outscore a Caleb Williams kind of stressful situation. I still don't have 100% confidence that he can manage a shootout situation without turning the ball over, and especially without Swift in the backfield. I'll take the Bengals in hopes that Joe Flacco is playing. If Jake Browning is under the center, it's over.
Yeah.
Then I'm completely wrong.
One thing to mention that slipped my mind before I quickly said under. My information is about 3 weeks old because, like I said, I've been super into baseball. But the Bears through 5 weeks, I know, had the worst pass defense in the league, which is why, So, anything could happen in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of chaotic, but interesting matchup to say the least. But we move on to probably the best matchup in the 1 o'clock hour. It's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers coming off a Sunday night loss to the Green Bay Packers. You know why? Because Green Bay was just better than them. And then the Colts, surprisingly, maybe the top team in the NFL right now. Shane Steichen, head coach, deciding at the beginning of the year to say, hey, Anthony Richardson, you stick to the sideline because you're shit and you can't throw and you get hurt too much. Daniel Jones, man, if New York doesn't want you, come on in, start with a quarterback. I got a running back here named Jonathan Taylor. We drafted a tight end, Warren. We got some good things happening, and bam, they got one loss. Technically, they should probably have the one they lost. They could have won against the Rams, and then the one they won against Denver was Denver messed that up. So they should probably be the record that they have now with one loss, and they are 3-point favorites over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And this game has a 51.5. When did you think Pittsburgh would be involved in a 51.5 point situation for an over-under? So what are your thoughts here?
That's a hard one with the total because it seems to me the games that I followed on the Pittsburgh Steelers this year is their defense is, they're either making up countless plays or they're just getting lit up. So it's so hard to say. And going into this year, I would have said the offense is a question mark, but the defense is like what you can rely on. So, I want to believe that the Steelers defense can't be this bad. You know what I mean? So I definitely lean for the under. But what was it, 2.5 for the Colts or 1.5?
3 points.
Three for the Colts. I think I still take the Colts here, even though it's a tough one that I definitely would have bet.
What about the over-under?
50 under 51.5.
You like under?
No, under. Yeah, I like under. I'm more confident in this under than I am the last game with Cincinnati and
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'll say to this is that the Colts don't take the foot off the gas. They keep going. They keep going. And with the Pittsburgh D being the way it is, I think here's my thought on this: is that it's -3, but this should probably be 4.5. If this was reverse, and that the Steelers had the team that the Colts have, and the performance so far this year that the Colts have had, and Pittsburgh was heading into Indy, let's just change uniforms. Personnel, all different. I think it'd be 4.5 for the Steelers. I think that it's because it's the Steelers. People are betting on the Steelers to cover
Yeah.
this mark. I think it's very valuable to take the Colts here, and I'm going to go with the over. I think it's going to be a track meet. I think it's
Wow.
going to be 34-17 in favor of the Colts. Does that add up? 34-17? Yeah. No, I got to put 40-17. Let's go 40-17 for the Colts. I think it's going to be a big
Wow.
scoring game. Jonathan Taylor, is he potentially the MVP in the NFL? He has been lights out. So we'll see him, I think, have a big performance today as well.
Yeah, I think you could argue he's the best running back in the league right now.
I don't
He's
even
been
think
that
there's much of an
before.
argument right now. I agree
Yeah.
with you. I don't think there's anybody better. I think he just doesn't get the hype because he plays in Indy.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
Have you? I know you've been out of the loop, but I don't know if you've seen earlier this year the Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away,
I did not
and
know.
his daughter has taken over. So the story is that she's on the sidelines on every game. She's listening to the play calls, making notes.
Are you
You got to
serious?
check this. Yes, I'm not kidding. So,
Really? That's awesome.
Right. It's awesome, but what's going to happen is this team is what, 7-1 or whatever it is, 6-1, 7-1. Everything's going well, right?
Yeah.
It will fade away that this will be a good idea. I think it will turn ugly once and if the Colts kind of take a step back.
Yeah.
Do you really, you want the boss on the sidelines writing notes, and she has no fucking, even like whatever owner doesn't have the football background of like the personnel, of the coaches. So it will turn ugly. I will tell you right now, people like this story and are saying, oh, every owner should do this. Bullshit. It's going to get ugly. It's going to go south at some point in this relationship with her being on the sideline. It's not even just her. It's any owner that close to the sideline. I have red flags on.
Yeah. I mean, that's just she's gotten lucky with the record then. So, I mean, as long as they keep winning, I don't think she'll face criticism because I think the Colts are going to keep winning.
Well, she's not going anywhere for the next 20 years. So, like, at some point, it's going to be,
I
I
see
think,
what
a
you're
problem.
saying. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were referring to this season. That's my bad.
No, I'm talking at some point in the next 20 years.
Inevitably. Yeah, inevitably.
Inevitably. All right, so we got an interesting matchup, and I think it's undervalued. I think there's value here on the 49ers. The 49ers are 2.5-point favorites on the road against the Giants. The Giants have had blips of success, but I think the 2.5 is way too low. I think the 49ers can get it done. I mean, they didn't get it done against the Houston Texans, but the Houston Texans played pretty well. All right. So 2.5, give me the 49ers in a cakewalk. And the over-under is 48.5, which I think may be too high. I'll take the under there, but give me the 49ers in this one.
Yeah. I agree. The 49ers, the last few weeks, I think I had a bet on the 49ers, and I'm pretty sure they've been disappointing the last few weeks, but this should be an easy layup of a game. That total seems a little low to me, 2.5. What do the Giants got? They got Dart now. Everyone's injured on that team. Scatabo, Neighbors. It's rough,
So I assume you take the 49ers. Yes.
I take the 49ers, but yeah, I take the 49ers. I think 2.5, right?
Yep.
2.5, that's an easy bet. Yeah.
Okay. And then 48.5, is that too high? Or do you like the over? Like some points here.
I think it's under. I'll say under.
Okay. You like the under. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. The last game of the 1 o'clock hour is the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy back. Carson Wentz done for the year. Taking on the Detroit Lions are coming off their bye week. The Lions are 9.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 47.5. What do you like here?
I think the Giants should crush them. Or sorry. I think Detroit should
Giants.
crush them.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I think Detroit all day. What's the over-under again? Sorry.
47.5.
Give me the over as well. Give me Detroit and give me the over.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. There's nothing here that tells me that Minnesota is going to get the job done.
Yeah.
Are they a better team with J.J. McCarthy? I think so, because Carson Wentz is a train wreck, man. Like he makes bad decisions, hold the ball too long. That's kind of where he probably got in trouble and getting hurt. And but I just think that the Lions got way too much, and will get in a situation where forcing the Vikings to have to throw the ball more than they want to. They cannot control the clock. They cannot control the game. They're going to have to be catching up all the time, and that's just not the Vikings' way of doing things, especially a J.J. McCarthy coming back off of injury and ready to go. So I like it, the Lions as well to cover that 9.5. No problem.
Do you still think that the Lions could be considered the best team in football as well? Because as good as the Colts have been, seeing if I could imagine the Colts and the Lions going head to head, I'm probably take the Lions every day.
I think so. I think the Lions. I know, but also, man, like if it came down to one game in a playoff matchup, how do you not take the Eagles? Like at some point, they just got something going. They seem like they're better. Like they have the magic of a better game plan, a better scenario, the tush push, and Jalen Hurts gets a lot of flack, but man, he's really talented. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Could have been a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, but I think the Eagles are still the champs until they're knocked off, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue that, right? They're one of those teams right now that I think they just get into the playoffs and then they're a different team from the regular season.
Yes.
They don't gotta constantly be using all their weapons, and it's hard to argue against.
Right, and so we move on here. I hate this. There's only 3 games in the 4:00 hour, which I think they should even them up a little bit. I don't know. What do you think about when you go into a Sunday? Do you like it when it's at least 4 or more games?
See, it depends. Like, the first thing that I'm thinking right now, it's like, at least they got Kansas City Buffalo, it's got to be the game of the week, in my opinion. They got that at the 4:20 game. So, as long as they got the quality matchups there, they're putting the kind of the primetime games. I'm happy with it. I don't know if it's random or if they intentionally put the Chiefs Bills there because everyone's going to be watching it. If that's the case, I can get behind it. But I mean, I'd like a couple more.
Yeah, they don't make it random. It's on purpose. Like that's
on
purpose.
If it's on purpose, then I see what they're doing. It's like. I'm going to be wanting – if there's a game like that on, I'm going to be wanting to watch the other games less, So,
right.
If you give me a bunch of shitty games in the morning, but I'm getting to choose from there, there's going to be a couple games that I like. I got those elite games afternoon. I'm not too upset about it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I like when there's multiple matchups that may take your. I'm envisioning sitting at a sports book in Vegas when you got all the screens on there. Like right now in this 4:00 hour. I mean, are you really going to watch New Orleans take on the Rams with any thought? And we might as well just cover it now. The Rams are 13.5-point favorites here over the New Orleans Saints. That nothing's going right for the Saints. The Rams are, a playoff contender. Like they're not even the same sphere. Where do you think the Rams do in this game? Do they blow them out? Puka's back, apparently. What are your thoughts?
I don't. I guess I could see them winning by 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I don't know about blowout. I know New Orleans can put up some points sometimes too, but it should be a cakewalk. So it's hard to say. What was the over under on that one?
43.5.
Oh, I'll say the over is the play 100% on this game. I say the over for sure. You don't think New Orleans puts up some points?
They could, but they got their rookie quarterback now going slow instead of Rattler. Rattler's on the bench, so it's. I don't know. You've been in the middle of the woods.
So you
with
think
no
this game's
internet
going to be slow?
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but Rattler's on the bench.
Yeah. See, I've been out of the league. I've been out of it for a couple of weeks, just focused on the baseball playoffs every day. So, I didn't have that quarterback information. So there's a lot more uncertainty now in my end. My apologies.
I don't know. I can't believe you're betting with the mob with lack of information. This is really, really gutsy of you.
Okay. They threatened my kneecaps as well, so I'm a little nervous.
A little nervous? Okay, I would be too. Anyway, so you like the Rams to cover the 13.5?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I'd bet it. I'd bet the over. The over is what I like. But because I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think they win by 14 points. So I guess I'll put over 13.5. It's not. I don't think they're going to cover that by much. I think they're going to cover that by half a point. But give me that and give me the over.
Hey, the good thing about betting, if they cover it by winning by 14 or 100, it doesn't matter. It's a cover, right? Yep. So that's the way the gambling world works. I look at it from this point of view is when you really think about it, we're talking about a team that the bettors think is 13.5 points better than the New Orleans Saints. And am I really going to go into this game thinking that spread's too big and leaning my hopes on the New Orleans Saints because they're a bad football team? It's almost I'd rather lose. If I'm going to lose or stay away from this game, I'd rather take the better football team, right? I've been burned too many times where I thought a spread's too much, and sometimes it does cover. Sometimes the team doesn't meet that point total. However, you're not going to hold your hopes on the friggin' Saints, man. They're terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I'll take that over. We'll keep the same. Both take the Rams and both take the over on that one. We like our overs. Now we got maybe the second best of the three games, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars in Vegas, baby. Vegas taking on the Raiders. And the Jaguars are actually the favorites here at 2.5. Brock Bowers for the Raiders is back. How healthy is he? I don't know. He's been out multiple weeks, but he's absolutely a difference maker for the Raiders. What else? Travis Hunter for the Jaguars is out. He got injured in practice, knee injury, but we still have a Jaguar team that showed a little bit of life, in that Monday night or weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then it's fallen flat ever since, in my opinion. And my opinion, I thought was going to go up, and now it's down the shitter again. So Jacksonville 2.5-point favorites, over under 43.5, which I think it will go over because of the chaotic nature of both these teams. Geno Smith, a little bit, chaotic with his just can't let a play die, throwing the ball up. He'll get at least one pick. I mean, if you want a player prop, I don't know what it is, but Geno Smith at least throw one interception. What do you like here?
Yeah. A few weeks ago, before I fell out of touch with football, Jacksonville people were considering. I didn't believe it, but people were considering Jacksonville a playoff team. And now you're telling me that there's a chance that they can't even take down the Raiders. It's like, are these guys complete frauds here? I think this is like. I mean, this is the biggest game of the season for Jacksonville, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You got to win. You can't I got to roll with the Jaguars because they have a potential to be a playoff team, and we know what the Raiders are. The Raiders could be entertaining at time, and I completely agree with you. They got that brand to them, the black and gold. It's like they got Genty, that rookie.
Black and silver. You said black and gold.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
But you've really been out of it.
Yeah. They have an entertaining team to watch. Bowers, amazing tight end. Genty, rookie running back, probably the best rookie running back. R.I.P. O.J. Hampton. But Jacksonville needs to win. Jacksonville should win this game. I'm taking them 2.5. I think this team should easily win by a touchdown. If they can't, I'm not betting them on them again this year. Because to me, if they don't win this game, they're a joke. I'm sorry.
I agree. So let's go with that. So I agree with you. Jacksonville probably covers. Let's go with that. Over under. Again, I took the over. So what's your thoughts there? 43.5?
43.5. Give me the over.
Okay, done. All right. So Jags are like 4-3. So they really need this game. They really need this game bad.
Yeah, they lost the last 2 weeks then?
Yes, Seattle and whatever game last. Let's just check it out.
I'm out of it for a couple weeks, and it's not even surprised me that they lost. It surprises me that it's only a 2.5-point game.
That's right. They lost to the Rams in London. That's right.
Yeah. So I don't blame them for those losses necessarily, but to see this line today, it's like, man, I would have expected at least like 5.5, 6.5. I don't know, something like that. Like, you're telling me they're on a touchdown better than the Raiders, and 2 weeks ago you were telling me that this could be like a playoff team or a top tier team.
Yep,
it's very interesting.
All right, so what we have now is the game of the day, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs head to Buffalo, and they take on the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. What the two teams here, the Chiefs are on the rise. I mean, there were skeptics earlier on this year. And then as the Chiefs have slowly gotten all their weapons back, minus Pacheco, who's out today. But with all these weapons, Worthy back from injury, you have Rashid Rice out there, Hollywood Brown being a part of it. Travis Kelce looking like benefiting from these other weapons. Like, he doesn't get that double coverage that he normally gets. So this team's a buzzsaw. They're ready to go. And the Bills, I mean, they've lost their shine. They've lost to shine
Yeah.
here. So what are your thoughts here?
I got a weird feeling that Kansas City, and I don't think the Buffalo Bills are a bad team. I think they're a great team. But I think
Right.
Kansas City has a chance to blow them out today.
Blow them out.
Yeah, I do. I just got a feeling they're going to win by double digits.
So you think they'll cover the 1.5 that they're favorite?
Well, okay, what's considered a blowout? Like I'm thinking, I guess win by double digits. I don't know if that's necessarily a blowout, but I think they win by more than 10 points today.
Wow.
Yeah, like ever since Rashee Rice came back to this team, like it's like they're a different team. Give Mahomes a weapon like that, and then you remember why, Kansas City is actually the best team in football out of any of these other teams.
Ooh. You're no longer welcome in Buffalo anymore.
I mean, I'd rather Buffalo win, I guess, but this is just what I think is going to play out here.
52.5. What do you think? Over under?
Give me the under.
Ooh, I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the Bills.
I think the Bills struggle to put up points, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it hurts to have a podcast where you're giving a view and you don't know why, but that's okay. I'm just kidding.
I'll say 14-28.
You think, okay, so you think it's under then? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right,
14-28, Kansas City.
And now I'm going to take the Bills, and I don't know why. I just feel that
Really?
coming off the bye week. Yeah, I really don't know why. Everything's pointing to Kansas City. They're the rightful, a 1.5 should be licking your chops for the Chiefs here, but I'm going to take the Bills. I think that they're going to step up to, they're aiming for the Chiefs on the schedule. Josh Allen wants to perform. He wants to, step up, show why he was the MVP of the league last year. So for some reason, I think the Bills come out and win this game. If they don't, but I mean, I just have a gut feeling. So I also don't have a reason why, but that's the way I see it. All right. So we move on then to the Sunday nighter. Jaden Daniels is back for the Washington Commanders. However, the Commanders are 3-point dogs to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks have been a sneaky team. They're 5-2. The Commanders are 3-5. Really, the Commanders, got to the NFC Championship last year. They had a great run. And I wouldn't say anything. Usually you would say a regression from a quarterback. I wouldn't say that the Commanders have fell off a little bit because of Jaden Daniels in any way. It's been more of his health than anything else. I think he's taken that leap where you just look at Jaden Daniels, superstar quarterback, a difference maker, versus what we look at in Caleb Williams, which is still trying to become a great quarterback. I think he's got to that level. We don't think that anymore. So if Daniels is back, Seahawks are favorite, and the over-under is 48.5, so they're expecting some points being scored here on the Sunday nighter. What are your thoughts?
I think these are both two quality teams. I think for me, it comes down to, all right, these teams are pretty dead even in my mind. Washington's at home, and Washington's the underdog, so that's the team I want to go for. I don't think there's more than a 50% chance that they win, but I think because you're getting money, this is the value here. This is where you go.
Okay, so you're taking Commanders.
Yeah. I'm taking the Commanders, but I'm not necessarily confident about it. I'm probably one of the biggest Sam Darnold hype guys around.
I don't get that, but okay.
I just think he gets the job done. Like he doesn't necessarily make it look sexy, but I think he's just like he's a solid quarterback in my opinion, top 10. But I think Jaden Daniels. The only question is him coming back off the injury. Is there a little bit of rust? But obviously, if this guy was playing like he can play, they win this game.
And then the points. Do you think there'll be a lot of points scored here? So it's 53.5.
53.
Right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stop. 48.5. That's what I meant. Sorry.
48. Okay, that's different. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 50. I'll say the over, but not confident.
Okay, I'm going to go with the under on this one. I do think that Seattle gets it done. I think they got a little bit more structure. I think Commanders are a little messed up at the moment on the D, and you'll see Sam Darnold, your boy, manage this team to a win here on Sunday night. And in Jigba, man, this guy's got a 98.5. The guy's, to me, underrated. Maybe the best. I can't say that with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, but upper echelon, top 5 receiver that I think gets no credit. And he puts up yards, man. He's a professional receiver and knows what he's doing. He just doesn't have the physical skill. He's got the smarts too.
Just a little fantasy note here. If I'm not mistaken, Jackson Smith and Jigma, if you redrafted today, would be the number one pick in fantasy. I don't know if
Really?
you're aware of that. But
No, it
yeah,
was not.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure if he's not top three in fantasy right now, he's the number one guy.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, unbelievable. I think as good as he is, I do think Sam Darnold is a big factor in that. But 100%, I'm glad you mentioned that guy because that guy is so electric right now. What an emergence this year.
Yeah, he's on fire, and that's, I guess, one of the reasons why you go away from Tyler Lockett and Metcalf to make him the
Yeah.
guy.
Wow. Yeah. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
All right, so we go on to the Monday nighter. It is the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cardinals will have Jacoby Brissett, my understanding, starting again, but Kyler Murray is still available. So it's a little, but it sounds like Brissett is going to start. I honestly, I don't know what the Cardinals are. I have no faith in them. They're 2-5. They've pissed away a lot of games that they should have won. It stands out to me they were the only victory for the Tennessee Titans. Losing at home to the Titans in the fashion they did. The Cowboys are 3-4-1, so they look like a juggernaut offense, and then they don't. But their defense can't stop anything. Their defense is horrible. No pressure on the quarterback. They could not keep up with the Broncos last week. So this team is only as good as Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens can move the ball and outscore their opponent. I would not have any faith that this Cowboy team can shut anybody down. So the Cowboys are 3-point favorites. This is over under 53.5. What do you think here?
There's so much uncertainty. It's probably a game that I'd stay away, but Dallas should be winning this game more than 3 against the Cardinals. The Dallas Cowboys, it feels like for them to win, they got to score in every drive. But in a game against the Cardinals, I think there's actually a chance they score on most of them. So give me Dallas -3. But man, is that a tough team to watch right now if you're a fan. Wow.
What about the over under 53.5? Do you think this will be a scoring situation, like a lot of points?
It's just I don't know how the Cardinals are going to score, or score the ball. Like I know they're going to score, but it's like how much? But I guess I see them putting up 21. So yeah, you know what? That's a high total. I want to stay away. I feel like I want nothing to do with it, but I'll choose the over just for fun.
All right, I'll stick to the over as well. None of these teams can play. Cardinals have got better deep, but the Dallas Cowboys can't. But they have a juggernaut of an offense that puts yards up. I think the Cowboys win, but I'm not confident in any way when you watch games like the Cowboys on the road against Carolina. Yeah. Then you watch them against Washington at home. They lights out offense and blow out the Commanders, and then lay an egg in Denver. So they're at home.
Yeah.
They're at home, and so I'll take the Cowboys. And just a late note, Flacco looks like he's going to start for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'll ask your thoughts on when we thought the Ravens were dead and gone, they are actually the betting favorite to win that division. So it's insane if both the Bengals and the Steelers lose today, the Ravens are only one game back of that division.
That's crazy. And they got Lamar back. It 100% makes sense why they're the favorite now. Lamar is like Hall of Fame quarterback. It doesn't surprise me. Best rushing quarterback of all time. This guy steps on the field and changes the game. Like without him, they look kind of rough. They looked really rough. But
so right now they sit third. They sit third in their division, tied with the Bengals at 3-5. The Bengals yet to play today. The Steelers 4-3. And if you look at FanDuel's division winner futures, the Ravens are -150 compared to the Steelers +200. So if you feel dangerous, is there value on taking the Steelers +200 and rolling the dice that maybe Lamar Jackson pulls a hammy again? He's not 100%. Do you take that chance? But they just destroyed the Dolphins the other night.
You know what? The fact that we think that the Steelers are going to get steamrolled today by the Colts, right?
Yep.
The fact that we think they're going to take another loss today, I think you have to go with Baltimore here as the division favorite. I'm not betting against Lamar Jackson.
No, it's
But I mean, I can't question
amazing.
value. I can't question value. If you're a Steelers fan, if you're a Steelers fan, I 100% understand why you're taking that 3-1 bet. But I'm not betting against Lamar. You know, Ravens are due as well. You know,
Yeah, and everybody,
the Ravens can't afford to have these years like this. So I think they rally and come back and finish really strong.
yeah, and just look at the Ravens organization. They're probably the best well-run team in the NFL, up there with the Eagles and maybe the 49ers, in my opinion. But yeah, it's hard to not take the Ravens as the division winner when this thing's all said and done. So, and if they get one home game in the playoffs and then have to go on a run, like, are you really going to be shocked if they go to the AFC Championship again? I don't think so.
No, not at
So-
all. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be. That's the expectation, right?
Yes. All right. Well, we've hit the end of the NFL schedule. We've gone through every bet here, both spread and over under. I am assuming that your focus is going to be back on the NFL now that baseball season is over. Can I get that commitment?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You cut out just for a second there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
What I-
sorry. Did you say I heard commitment? Yes, you can have my commitment for the NFL season going forward.
So you did hear what I had to say. That's good. Okay. So
I heard
commitment.
half of it, but I made out what you meant. Yeah.
All right. So okay, that's cool. So you're back on the NFL bandwagon. You will have a lot more hot takes coming into week 10 next week of the NFL.
Yes, sir.
If we bring you on, if you're lucky enough to get back on the show.
Yes, I'll be more up to date. So I only focus right now. You know, the Raptors haven't been doing too hot, so it's probably.
Oh, that's tough. Now you're getting in the NBA. What do you want? Jeez.
Yeah, too much bad things to talk about in the NBA with that gambling stuff earlier on. But yeah, I'll definitely be full go in fantasy football, or sorry, football in general.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining Austin from Ajax. Hopefully you have a good week for whatever cabin mountain you're at right now, and hopefully you survive those bear attacks. And maybe will we see that beard again the next time you're on?
Yeah. No, you know what? This was actually a baseball Blue Jays playoff beard, so it's going today.
It's got to go. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
You'll see me
All right.
next week with more knowledge, less facial hair.
Less facial hair, more knowledge, less facial hair. We like to hear it. Okay, that's it for the Overrated Experience. It's a pleasure's all been yours for you viewers out there and you listeners out there. The Overrated Experience is over and out.
Oh, Austin from Ajax.